got another, listen, I love the people that I get to surround myself with and the folks that advise me. And when I get to working with them and I'm like, oh man, their stuff is so good. I want to share them with the world. And the person I want to share today is Kelly Bagla. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us.
So fantastic to be here, Josh. Thank you.
You are the CEO of GoLegalYourself.com. And I'll put the link here on the screen because we're going to be talking about, we're going to help some good people here. Because Kelly, I know a lot of folks that I'm connected with on the socials are in business for themselves. And Kelly, there are a lot of, I don't know if you realize this, but I think that there are a lot of business owners out there that don't necessarily have all their legal ducks in a row. And we're not messing around. When it's not like these are just nice to have things, right? You wouldn't put yourself in a bad position with the IRS in terms of your finances, but you have just as much risk, if not more, legally. And what we're going to talk about is it's not rocket science, but these are mandatory rules of engagement if you are in business for yourself. And Kelly, can I just I'm going to give you the ball. And I kind of teed you up here. Having been in business for 2.5 decades, I've learned that, there are just some things you can't mess around with. Legal entity, protecting yourself personally. Boy, this is serious stuff. So I want to help keep some great business owners in business, Kelly. Help us out.
Fantastic. So Josh, as a practicing attorney, I've been practicing for over 18 years, and I know I don't look that old. I know that. Mm-hmm. And as a practicing attorney, you must assume that I have seen each and every issue that can actually take down a company and lead it down the bankruptcy road. Now, I completely understand that legal in itself can be very scary. It can be intimidating. People just want to start their own business. They just want to be their own boss. They just want to take control over their own life. And why should there be all these legal barriers put in place for them? See, one thing about America that I absolutely love, Josh, is that it allows anyone to be a business owner. It allows anyone to go into business for themselves and become their own boss, which is a most beautiful thing, because now you've got full control over your life, your family's life. You can make as much money as you want, and you don't have to just be stuck in a 9-to-5 job. Now, along with that big massive dream, obviously that there are issues with legalities, there are issues with taxes as well. And over the years, I've noticed that there are so many companies online that are saying, yes, we can help you incorporate. And when they do help them incorporate, and now the business owner thinks, okay, I'm incorporated, I'm good to go. But usually about 75% of the documents they're missing. They wouldn't know this because the online companies, they're not lawyers. And so they cannot tell you that this is what you need, and that's what you need, and this is the other document that you need. They can't tell you that. So I wanted to make it more accessible. I wanted to bring legal into a bright, shiny light rather than the dark cloud that people usually think legal is. And so I wanted to make starting a business, incorporating a business, as easy as possible for anyone. So what I did is I founded GoLegalYourself.com. It's somewhat similar to that Goldilocks story, right, Josh? You've got the porridge. This bed is way too hard, and then that bed is way too soft. And so, Go Legal Yourself is really the perfect medium for someone that wants to start a business. They want to incorporate and start their business with the right legal documents and the right legal contracts and build a solid legal foundation, knowing that all of these documents that they are purchasing, they are actually drafted by an attorney. Plus, they have me that they can reach out to, who is an attorney, and I can advise them. So I wanted to make starting a business from a legality standpoint as easy as possible for entrepreneurs. Because Josh, I'm an entrepreneur too, right? 2 or 3 times over. And I know the pains and the heartaches and the money that people spend and waste because they don't know any better. So that's why Go Legal Yourself was born, just to be that perfect medium for someone that doesn't want to go and search for an attorney and pay the horrendous fees of an attorney, and someone that's savvy enough and has assets to protect, that they know they need more than just going online with these companies that can basically just incorporate you and that is it.
Yeah. So Kelly, there's a few things in just, we have about 20 minutes here that I wanted to kind of cover some of the biggest issues. And number one I want to talk about is business entity, right? So I think a lot of people, especially like, let's say they've been working as a freelancer and they're just, they're a sole proprietor, right? By default. And at some point, you probably don't want to be a sole proprietor. You want to go ahead and address that first thing, and then we'll kind of get into maybe some more advanced, kind of go through, business life cycle type stuff, kind of go to, well, now you're an agency, now you're, or maybe you're a coach or a consultant. But let's talk about that individual. It's just one individual, maybe they have a VA or something like that, and they're either coaching, consulting, freelance work, that sort of thing. Should they, they're just by default a sole proprietor, at what point would they say, ooh, I should probably look at incorporating or starting an LLC? What is that point that they might want to get serious about that?
There are 2 factors that come into play here. One is, how much exposure do you have being a sole proprietor? Meaning, if somebody was going to sue you for the content that you wrote, how much could they get? Right? Do you have property? Do you have bank accounts? Do you have cars and assets? So if that's the case, then obviously incorporating would be the correct step to take. Because now if somebody does decide to sue you, they can only sue the company and not you personally, which means that they can't take away your house or your car or your bank accounts. And if you're still building your assets, but you actually make about, I'm going to say about 50,000 a year, that would be a good time for you to start thinking about incorporating, because now being an incorporation, it can actually start helping you from a tax perspective too, because it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you can keep.
Yeah. So let's say then, obviously we have some options when it comes to incorporation. You could do a simple LLC, or you could go and become a corporate, like a full-blown corporation, C or S corp election, right? And how do we know whether an LLC or a corporation is appropriate? Is that more of an accounting and tax thing, or is there also is that a lot of legal considerations there?
Definitely a bit of both, but from a legal consideration standpoint, Josh, you have to look at the big picture, right? Don't just look at today's, just you and no one else. It's just going to be you. Well, you have to look at, do you want to grow your business? Do you want to go nationwide? Do you want to go international? Are you going to hire people? How are you going to incentivize them to stay? And if you are a startup, are you looking for funding? Right? All of these will have to come into play. And then if the answer to all of that is yes, eventually I do, I would absolutely start off by being a corporation. However, if it's just you right now and you're not hiring anyone and you don't have any partners, it's a possibility you can be a LLC. However, you want to take advantage of the taxes too. So you might want to elect yourself as an S corp for tax purposes, but you can always convert. 6 months down the road, a year down the road, 5 years down the road, now your plans changed and now you are going to hire employees. You can always convert your LLC into a corporation.
Yeah. And Kelly, this is where I want to start talking about some of your services, right? Because so we were in a position where we were an S corp, and we needed. Well, I want to be careful here. We're all legally protected right now, yes. But let's just say hypothetically, yes. Let's see somebody. Let's say they don't have their minutes for a period of time. So you've got a couple of things, right? So you've got, I'm just looking at like what we have now, and I'm just so excited for this, right? So you've got annual notes for your shareholder meeting and the direct. Well, can I let you explain this? Because I'm not the expert here. There are a couple things I know. This one, I'm going to defer to you, Kelly. What do I have here in my hands?
That's perfect. What you have, Josh, in your hands is literally going to be your saving grace. Those documents right there are going to protect you from someone trying to sue you personally. So your home, your cars, your bank accounts, all of those are going to be protected because of those documents that you hold in your hand. If you did not have those documents in your hand, then yes, all of your assets would be up for grabs if somebody decided to sue you. Now, the way the law works, and this is in any state, Josh, just by filing your articles with the state, just by registering with the state, does not afford you that limited liability protection.
Wow.
It does not. So the law is saying, okay, Josh, you want to be incorporated, you have to treat your corporation completely separate from yourself. And this is how you do that. One, you have your internal documents. You must have bylaws if you're a corporation. You must have organizational minutes if you're a corporation. The most important part is you must have annual minutes. So if somebody does decide to sue you and they say, well, Josh, I know he's got a multi-million-dollar home down in Florida, and then he's got a penthouse.
That's right, I do.
All hypothetical, right?
Yeah, right.
I want to bring Josh in personally. Well, you can tell them, look, I haven't done anything outside of the law as an officer. Here are all of my documents. And if you're going to sue anyone, it would be only the corporation and not you personally.
Yeah. Kelly, I wonder if some people are like, look, I'm an honest person. We always, don't do anything shady or unethical. Should I worry about being sued?
See, it's not about you, right? We're all good and ethical people. It's about the person that you enter into a contract with. Yeah. The contract is only as good as the person. And I've said that multiple times over and over again. And circumstances change, Josh, especially in this crazy time that we're living in. Everyone's hurting financially. Everyone's hurting. So what are they doing? They are suing like hotcakes, especially in the beautiful state of California. There are multiple lawsuits going on here for no apparent reason. But the fact is that people are hurting financially. And if you are in business, it's your responsibility to keep yourself and your family safe and away from potential lawsuits. And how would you do that? Make sure you've got all of your legal ducks in a row.
Yeah. And the state, Kelly, we'll just touch on this briefly. The state in which you're incorporated can make a big difference.
Huge, Josh, huge. I'm so glad you mentioned that. So as you can very well tell from the site, golegalyourself.com, I have specifically created packages for business-friendly states. Business-friendly states, Delaware, Nevada, Wyoming, these are fantastic states. Why? Because they already have the law written. That exactly if you're going to get sued in one of those states, you're going to go in and you're going to know what the outcome is going to be. They are very business friendly. Now, California, on the other hand, California is very employee friendly, and it requires you to make sure that if you're going to get sued in California, you have the burden as the business owner to prove everything, not the person that's suing you. So it's kind of backwards in California. So that's why it's really important, especially for the entrepreneurs that live and work in California. Highly recommend, give me a call, email me, give me a call. I'd love to chat with you just to make sure that you do have your legal ducks in a row. But if you are going to get sued, Josh, Delaware, Nevada, Wyoming, those are all fantastic states to be sued in. The outcome is very favorable to businesses.
Yeah. Heaven forbid, as a business owner, you get sued.
Right.
But if you do, you want the law on your side for sure. Right. Kelly, I in terms of takeaways, I just hope that we've inspired some folks to take action in regards to this stuff, right? Just filing with the state is not enough to protect yourself legally. You need to work with Kelly. Kelly, your website is golegalyourself.com. And talk about, because this is the one thing that I really wanted to highlight, because again, working with an attorney can be very expensive. It could be very confusing. There's always the fear that you're going to end up paying way too much. You don't know if you're overpaying for those legal services. And that's why I love that you're so, you've essentially productized, very, very important work that is just kind of a mandatory thing. But what I love is your pricing is upfront. It's very clear. And what I want someone who's watching this video, go to golegalyourself.com, hover over this, all right? And then pick a state. And even if you don't know, mainly because I want you to scroll down to this part. This gets me so excited when I see that you can get everything all done, right? Kelly, can you tell me a little bit more about everything that's included in this Startup Essentials package? And you'll see the pricing is just listed right here. It's one time $5,000. And I'll let you explain it.
Absolutely. That price includes your incorporation. It includes all of your internal documents. And the best part too, Josh, is sometimes these entrepreneurs, they've got clients ready to go, but they don't have the legal contracts. Well, this package includes the client contract. It includes independent contractor agreement, because we're going to hire individuals, especially, let me give you a quick example. If you hire someone to do your website, and now all of a sudden you don't like what they're doing and you want to take your website and go somewhere else, well, they're going to hold your website hostage, right? If you don't have a contract with them. Yeah. They will. And I've heard horror stories. So this Startup Essentials package has everything that you are going to need as a brand new company. Also, when you do have, and you'll have to excuse my dogs.
What's your doggy's name?
They're my associates. I've got a couple of them. We have Lady and Shelby.
I've got Levi. He's looking over there. He's ready for his evening walk. So
there you go.
Hang on, Levi. About 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes, Levi. How cute. Yes. But everyone has a website. And if you're not compliant on your website, that's another topic at some point we'll have to discuss. You have to have your website terms and policies, your website privacy policy, and your website disclaimer. All of that is included in your Startup Essentials. You don't get that anywhere else, Josh. And if you were going to go to a law firm for all of that, it will easily cost you $20,000.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, I love that you've right on the webpage here. This is a good breakdown of kind of, again, everything that you get. For 1/4 the price, which is like when I learned what you did, Kelly, we originally got connected through our podcast. And as I was going through this, I'm like, oh my gosh, the world needs to know what you do, because I love that you've simplified the process, which I'm just so grateful for. So some of the biggies, right? So all your articles of incorporation and your filings, like all your stuff, your minutes and everything that you need, website, your privacy policy, terms of use. Hey, Kelly, can I ask you about that? I think, again, I don't mean to project here because this isn't what I did. But I wonder how many people, for their website, terms and conditions and privacy policy, just like, okay, I'll just copy and pasted somebody else's. Should you not do that?
I'm going to say absolutely not, Josh. No, you should never, ever do that, because those terms and conditions and terms and policies, they are very specific to that company. And that company has spent money with attorneys creating these policies, because if, for example, again, you've posted something on your website and someone takes that advice, they don't have to be your client, but they take that advice and they act upon it, and somehow that advice has hurt them, they're going to come back and sue you. And you're going to say, well, look at my terms and policies. And the terms of use on your website are not going to protect you because they don't pertain to your business or your practice at all. So they have to be really specific. And even if you are taking sign up here for my newsletter, right? That is considered private information of an individual. So you have to have your privacy policies. Otherwise, you will get in trouble with the FCC.
Yeah. Again, just it's not one of those nice to have things. It is the ticket of entry into business ownership today. It just is, right? This is business adulting 101. And so Kelly, in terms of like this offer, so someone's looking at this like, wow, that sounds like it's going to solve all my problems, but I don't know. Can they talk to you? Can they call you? Can they message you? Can they, like, how do you engage with people, before they get going with you?
I love hearing from entrepreneurs, Josh. Absolutely love it. They can directly email me, kelly@golegalyourself.com. All of this information is on golegalyourself.com website. Or they can simply give me a call, and I'll be happy to set up a 15-minute free Zoom call with them and walk them through as to what they're going to be purchasing. And then the beauty about all of this, Josh, is they get 1 hour of my time involved in the package. And because I just love talking to entrepreneurs and I'm just genuinely a giver, I'm going to end up giving more than 1 hour.
Yeah.
We all do.
No, Kelly, listen, I'm very grateful for you. I'm so grateful that our paths crossed. I originally kind of had, good advice kind of starting our business. And, but, I think like a lot of business owners, Kelly, we're just busy doing our stuff, right? We're serving our clients. We're out helping try to make an impact in the world. And it can be really easy to someone who's watching us and they're like, ooh, wow, yeah, I don't know that I have my, action by written consent of the board of directors, for annual board meeting, right? They don't have that in place. And so what I would just say to you, just reach out to Kelly. Kelly, I think really quickly, you could probably ask them some questions and help them identify, oh yeah, okay, so it sounds like there's probably a few things that we want to have put in place so that we can have that protection. Heaven forbid you have a bad situation with a client, customer, employee, any of those issues. But sadly, Kelly, good business owners trying to do the right thing find themselves in a bad situation, even if it's entirely not their fault. It's not fair, but again, just so we could protect, you chose to get in business for yourself. So, this is just one of these things. I'm not speaking as an attorney, Kelly, that's your job, but that's just my personal experience, what things I've learned.
Well, you're absolutely right, Josh. I mean, it's as if you're going to go parachute jumping, right? Would you actually jump out of a plane knowing that either your parachute may not open or it may open? Are you still going to jump? And it's same thing about getting car insurance. If you're in business for yourself, the bare minimum that you can do for you and your family, because remember, lawsuits follow you around. They will follow you and your family around. Make sure that you're legally protected. That is it. I love entrepreneurs. This country is founded upon entrepreneurship. And this is my way of helping as many entrepreneurs that I can, Josh, to give them something at a flat rate that's reasonable.
Yeah.
They have access to me. Who wouldn't want to talk to me, Josh?
Yeah, exactly. Kelly Baglam, my personal friend and my legal advisor, has really helped us out. I'm so grateful for you. Kelly, thank you so much for all your value. Again, go to Kelly's website, Go Legal Yourself. On there, you'll see at the very bottom where you can, let's see, I'll put this up here, where you can scroll down. And Kelly, all your contact information is right there, where people can get in touch with you. And just want to say thank you so much. I love your product. I love your company. I'm very grateful, for the stuff that you've been able to help our company with. So thank you so much for that, Kelly.
Thank you so much, Josh. It's been such a pleasure.
And to all of our friends who have been watching, thank you so much. If you have any comments or questions, you can comment below. I'll get a notification, especially if you're watching this after the fact. I'll see if I can't get to Kelly, or I'll tag Kelly in the question below. Otherwise, you can just go directly to Kelly's website. She'll take care of you. Thank you, Kelly. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Josh.